Welcome back to Talking Shit, where we are talking all sorts of shit. Schitt's Creek, that is. I'm Jess Sterling, and today we are talking about Schitt's Creek Season 5, Episode 9, MVP. And of course, as always, I am joined by someone who is adoring the Ronnie Patrick feud. Stuart, how are you?
It's getting messy. So here for it. Sassy Ronnie. Is there any better version of Ronnie?
It's the only version I will accept.
Exactly.
And of course, as always, well, not as always, but this time we're joined by a guest, someone who's really, really good at pretending to be someone with amnesia knocking on a door. Zach, how are you?
Hello? Hi, I'm good to be here. It's good to be here again.
We're so excited to have you, Zach. This was an episode you requested a while ago because you're a big baseball fan. And of course, we're playing ball this episode.
Yeah, we are. And you had asked me a while ago if there was another one I wanted to do, and I was like, isn't there a baseball one somewhere along the way?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, always happy to talk some baseball.
Yeah, we're talking MVP. Stuart, broad thoughts on this episode. We got a little bit of baseball, a little bit of cabaret, a little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah, a real 50-50 split. No C storylines. We kind of were talking in the preamble before we started recording this, which is strange because we've had an ABC plot for quite a while. So it's good to give them a bit of breathing room and kind of also just split the cast up and just let them mingle a little bit. I felt that we had a lot of not just two people in a scene and following that storyline. We had a lot of back and forth and a little bit of mixing going on, which I really kind of liked. Is this high caliber baseball though? That's my question. I'm guessing not. It's all underrun.
Okay, what is it? Can I ask?
This is beer league softball, basically.
Right.
What is high? What did you ask? Is it what high level baseball?
High caliber? Yeah.
High caliber? What is that?
I don't know, just the big leagues. It's not the big leagues. I know that, but this didn't seem
they
like
have Cafe
serious.
Tropical on a shirt.
Yeah, serious sponsors.
I will say though, and Zach, you'll know this. You're the sports expert. They feel like they have very professional outfits for a very amateur league, right? Do you normally get matching pants if you're doing a community league?
I haven't done one since I've been an adult, but when I see pictures of people doing adult softball leagues like that, you see it sometimes if people are really serious and into it, but usually it's those shirts that they have with short, basketball shorts or running shorts or something. It's not, because people aren't those pants are to protect you from sliding into the base.
Well, we did see someone sliding.
Well, yes, most people aren't usually sliding when it comes to
Although I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to slide face first. I feel like you're not supposed to do that because you could hurt your face.
It is done quite a bit in professional leagues, but it also depends on the base, and also David more flopped instead of sliding.
The audacity of you, Zach.
Yeah.
He hit a home run.
Don't take this away from him.
I know.
Something we like to call a little league home run.
Oh, bless him. Hey, a home run's a home run. I'd count.
Exactly. It counts. All right. Well, let's get into a quick little recap of the episode in case people have forgotten and haven't watched. Let's talk about what happened this episode. We're getting ready to play ball. Patrick. Oh, I did see, by the way, before I'm going to interrupt myself. I did see someone left a comment on our YouTube channel saying that they do indeed sing "Oh Canada" at Canadian baseball games, and apparently Noah Reed, who plays Patrick, sang it at some Blue Jays something or other. Yeah, Zach knows their teams, and they played, and he sang it there. That was so great. So that, for our knowledge, Stuart, it does happen.
We're learning.
Patrick is in trouble because his baseball team is down a person, and it's the finale. Sorry, the championship. Patrick convinces David to sub in on the Cafe Tropical team, despite his reluctance. He's not the only Rose subbing in, though, because Ronnie's team, sponsored by Bob's Garage, is also down a person, and Johnny steps up. The Ronnie Patrick feud is fuming, and no one believes David is capable of any sort of athleticism, but the joke is on them because he hits the winning home run. Love to see it. Meanwhile, rehearsals are in full swing for Cabaret. Stevie is struggling with director Moira's acting exercises and is instantly regretting signing up for the play. Alexis sees her struggling and has a heart-to-heart with Moira about making the play a little bit more fun for Stevie. Moira then has an adorable conversation with Stevie, where she says it's her first time as a director, so they're both learning, and it was so cute, Stuart. I loved it so much. And that's our episode.
It's so wonderful to get these really kind of like heartwarming scenes where it's just small gestures that they have to do. Like, and this one was really kind of packed them. Like, we had the comedy side with the baseball, but the whole like Stevie's predicament that she was in, and just having Moira and Alexis both be very kind of caring and lovely about this. It just filled me up with like all the good feelings, as this show has been doing so for like so long. How they can manage to do that alongside the buffoonery of these exercises and Moira's approach to direction is beyond me. But yeah, it was really wonderful. This episode was great.
Yeah. All right. So do we want to just stick with Cabaret, talk through what's happening on the stage or behind the scenes here? Zach, have you ever taken like an improv class or anything? Because that feels like what's a lot of these exercises are from.
No, I haven't really done anything like that. The closest I've done improv-wise is when we play D&D. Like, that's
It's fair.
Beyond that, I mean, my only musical theater experience is playing at the Pit for some shows when I was in high school. So I have no, like, my brother was the actor in the family. So
yeah, I never did improv either, but like, there are certain points where I'm like, Stevie, girl, like some of these are not that hard. Like the one where you're trading words, like you're going back and forth. Moira killed me, where she's like, dismembering? Like she's acting like Stevie is feeding her these words. And she's like, I'm just feeding off of your dark energy, Stevie. Like, I don't know. The fact that Stuart is not surprising that Moira has never been a director of anything before. I feel like it's a little shocking.
I feel like she's probably done some backseat directing for quite a while. Like, I can't imagine her being in a role and not having notes to give. Like the script amends that came from the Pros Have Eyes 3 or whatever it was totally in character for her. But yeah, I can't imagine that anyone would have, unless it was Johnny's funding that would have like supported it. I can't imagine the producer going, yes, you're our director and we're going to entrust you with our massive investment of money, because Moira is Moira, and like she would just be absurd with a lot of requests. Like, I can imagine the budget spiraling and God knows what. So yeah, I can see why this would be the first. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like it's such untapped potential, because while it is absurd and all of the kind of the ridiculousness of what she's done, and like seems to be like she's learning on the job, I think she kind of does latch onto some really kind of good salient, like kind of understanding, like with Alexis kind of like nudging her in the right direction. I think she does kind of get to an understanding with Stevie and kind of makes a slight breakthrough that certainly wouldn't have happened. I think of anyone else were directing Stevie. I think Moira is probably the only one that was capable of something like that, because there's a certain level of respect, there's a certain level of, I guess, like kind of familiarity at least. So I don't think that perhaps judging Moira is like too on. I think that she actually did a commendable job. Am I alone in that? Maybe, I don't know.
I think she did good with the when she had the little push. Alexis and her are a good tag team in that Alexis is better at reading people than Moira is.
Yeah.
So when she can get the information from Alexis on what needs to be done, I think Moira is good at, I mean, she's an actor, she's good at taking direction. So she takes the direction from Alexis and then implements that in a way, kind of like a roundabout direction.
Yeah, I think the problem with Moira and probably a good many other directors is like just being obsessed with your own vision of how you want things to go and not really seeing how the actors are kind of dealing with that. Especially Stevie, who is like a reluctant participant in all of this. She's not really even convinced that she should be here. She really has like the imposter syndrome of like, I didn't even sign up for this. Like Moira thrust it upon me and now I'm here and I'm feeling so overwhelmed and out of place and I don't really know what to do. I do think it helps to have it's both scary and helpful to have Moira be paying so much attention to you like and giving you this like one-on-one feedback constantly, because I'm sure it'd feel like all Stevie wants is like a minute away from Moira, but she's also the one who's kind of in Stevie's ear being like, you can do this, like you've got this, don't worry. um I think that if she had sent Stevie off to do the like what were they, motion exercises or whatever the heck the rest of the group was doing, I don't think Stevie's buying into that, you know? Like
Mhm.
I don't think that any sort of like improv games are really for Stevie. Like I don't know. I'm just not that Stevie is like Leonardo DiCaprio, but like, can you picture like a Leonardo DiCaprio doing this sort of like knock knock game? Like, no, you know, I don't know. Uh, yeah, I really like Alexis in these scenes though. I love her saying, I was, I was a pussycat doll for a couple of days, but then they just decided I was too pretty. It's perfect.
Alexis was
Um,
great because we got like the attention to like Alexis kind of wanting to pull focus at the beginning of the episode was just so strong. Like even when it was like referred, I can't remember what it is that Moira says, like gestures towards like the dancers, and then she does the classic GIF move of just the whole like kind of shaking the head. It's like because she wants to be center stage at like the start. But then, quite rightly, she kind of admits later on, she's like, "Yeah, I'd never learn those lines. Like, it's just not happening."
yeah. Yeah, we also see Twyla is in the room, which I don't think she was originally on that poster board, right? So she's a new addition.
No,
Bob is there. No Ray, unfortunately for all of us, I think.
no, some curious absences from like rehearsals because both like Ray was on the board, and so was like Patrick. Patrick's like the MC, so
Well,
Patrick should have been
this
there, right?
was Moira had said at the top of the episode, this specifically was for like people who needed help with like dancing, which I think was all the Kit Kat characters, and people who wanted extra help. And she looks like very pointedly at Bob when she says that.
Right.
So
Feels like more like a workshop kind of thing than an actual
yeah,
rehearsal.
definitely
makes
not all of
sense.
them. But I do want to go through, we got a message from Erin, and she kind of outlined who these like surrounding characters are, right? So we know Stevie plays Sally, but there's other characters, and I think it would be fun if we tried to decide like who we think is cast in these specific roles, because we know some of the townsfolk and we could fill in some gaps if we need to. And I'm gonna say right now, people, I'm gonna mispronounce these names, okay? Like, I'm sorry. There's so many vowels. I simply just don't know. I think they're German names because I see air or
They're
hair. I don't
definitely
even know what
Hair.
you pronounce. Is it hair? You pronounce the
Yeah,
H?
it's
Is that like
Mr.
herb
Yeah.
though, where we don't say it and you do?
No, it's hair.
I feel like I'm getting caught in a trap. Okay,
No,
well, we have Fraulein Schneider.
Fraulein Schneider. Yeah.
Okay, why don't you say it? You're just gonna let me do this and get them all wrong?
Just saying, that's very Stuart to just like
Yeah, I mean, it's just the point
Audacity.
where I admit that I like studied German as part of like school. It's my default
I'm about
language.
to leave
Like,
this podcast right now. Sure. Okay, so she's the landlady of the guest house where Sally, who's played by Stevie, and Clifford live. I think it's Clifford Patrick, right? I think we decided. No, he's the MC.
that was the one
He's
he
the
was
MC.
auditioning for, but he got the MC part. Yeah.
Yes. She initially represents a more traditional, cautious approach to life, but her character evolves as the story progresses, especially with her relationship with Herr Schultz. And Aaron's
Okay.
note was she's very strict and a hard ass.
Oh.
So who's playing this character?
Bob.
Oh, Ronnie. What if this is Ronnie?
Ronnie does suit it. I think that would make sense. But is Ronnie cast? This is the difficulty I'm finding, is that I'm wanting to attribute characters to like particular roles, but I'm like, were they cast? Were they not cast?
Well, I think the thing is we can't really go based off of what we saw on the whiteboard because people like Twyla weren't on there. In my opinion, any of the civilians of Schitt's Creek, citizens of Schitt's Creek, can be cast. They're in the Harveys. It's fine.
Okay, but we're discounting Moira, Jocelyn, obviously, directors.
Because they're producing,
Certainly not that, yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, Ronnie seems to be the biggest fit for this one, I think. I think that's like
strict hard ass.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Ronnie. Then we have
like Ronnie's got all the activities down. Like her and Patrick, both like baseball and like theater.
It's a small town. There's not a lot going on, Stuart.
I mean,
but you have enough to fill out 2 full baseball teams, I think.
How many people is that, Zach? For the people who like the silly people who don't know how many people are on a team in baseball.
Yeah, silly people.
If you already counted off Patrick and David, say, on one team, that's at least 7 to 8 other people.
That is a lot of people. I'm surprised it wasn't like a Schitt's Creek versus Elmdale situation.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
And like,
so if you have 7 to 8 people on the Tropical team and then like 6 to 7 on the Bob's team, that's another like 13 to 15 people. That
we're getting a lot of just townies that we've never seen before.
Yeah. A lot of party attendees that we've never had a name to that just suddenly turn up, and yeah, definitely. But like I want to go back to that like Elmdale point. Like that would have been amazing if we'd had like Schitt's Creek versus Elmdale,
especially because
the recurrence of Wendy. Like she could have had like she could have participated. Like her family was like, she could have been cheering from the sidelines. Like imagine her like the sponsor.
She has a lemonade stand.
Like, the Blouse Barn 2.0 or something, like to get around the copyright.
Okay, this is actually genius. We need a part 2. We need a second baseball episode, and that needs to be what happens.
Dan Levy, if you're thinking about the movie, like sign me up for the writing credits. Please. Yeah.
Okay, Herr Schultz, who is how do you Fraulein Schneider's fiance and a fellow boarder. He's a Jewish businessman, strong, gentle figure who becomes a target of anti-Semitism, highlighting the growing persecution of Jews in Germany. Aaron's note, can't remember much about this guy, except he gets a great song about a pineapple.
Bob.
That's literally all I could think of when I was reading it is Bob.
Yeah.
But I want him to play every role.
Though the comedy of Ray playing a Jewish businessman who gets targeted.
Businessman, like there is that kind of like Ray's really industrious when it comes to the business side of things, so maybe that could work. But I'm saying so's Bob. I mean, he's sponsoring teams of baseball. So like,
okay, wait a minute. Stuart, is Fraulein like Mr. or Mrs.?
She's got it.
Quitting because I'm like there's a second character named Fraulein. Like this is BS. Okay, this makes more sense.
Can you guess what hair is?
Oh, Miss. I already knew that was Mr.
Okay.
I knew that one was Mr. But like usually Mr. and Mrs. sound like are similar words.
We are talking about German
in English.
In German a lot of languages.
Name me another language. Name me another language you know the titles for. Go on then.
I don't remember them.
I knew if I put you on the spot,
Monsieur and Madame is French, and they're like they both start with M's at least.
Senor and Senora are the Spanish.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter coming in after the fact. When I put you on the spot, that's what I want the answer.
Yeah, because I was put on the spot and I couldn't think. Okay. Anyway, Fraulein Kost, a character at the Kit Kat Club, who provides entertainment and is involved in the sexual and political atmosphere of the club. Aaron's note is very sexy, here for a good time. That sounds like an Alexis to me.
She's like one of the dancers, isn't she? So
true. She doesn't have a name, I think. She's unnamed dancer.
Okay, unnamed dancer.
Is this Twyla?
That would be amazing if it is Twyla.
What if it's Gwen?
Even better. Even better.
Gwen
please.
went to meet a guy that she met online. I think she's off on the reservation.
She's wearing rubber dresses. Like, Gwen's up to some weird shit.
Let's do it.
For all we know,
Okay.
Gwen's the target of a serial killer at this point.
Mhm.
All right, now I have another question. Is Ernst also like a Mr. Mrs. situation?
I think that's
Or is
just
this a
the
name?
I think that's
Yeah.
just-
Ernst? I feel like I'm missing a vowel. Can I buy one? Ernst?
welcome to Germany.
Oh my
You're
God.
missing all the vowels all the time.
Ernst Ludwig. He is a fellow boarder and a rising member of the Nazi Party. Yikes. He represents the growing influence of Nazi ideology and the dangers it poses. Aaron's note is, keep your enemies close, scary guy. Maybe this is Ray.
I don't even. I think Ray's probably the biggest contender for this, but
Yeah.
I don't want to name anyone for this role because it's like I don't want to say that they're good for
Yeah.
a fit for this.
This is a heavy play.
Yeah.
Is this like I've never seen Cabaret. We've talked about this, but this feels a little Sound of Music, where it's
I
like
mean,
17 hours and there's a lot of Nazi stuff happening.
Anything that happens in Nazi Germany is going to be freaking heavy.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
Yeah.
like lighthearted World War II story.
I mean, yeah, and unless it's the producers, and we really don't want to get Jess started on the producers.
That movie sucks so
notoriously-
bad. It's so
notoriously
bad.
Jess's least favorite musical.
So bad. And then so we have Fraulein Schneider, Herr Schultz, Fraulein Kost, Ernst Ludwig, and Bobby. Is that legitimately the character's name? Because that does not seem right. There's a Bobby, a young man who's also a resident at the guest house and a friend of Sally. Aaron's note, literally have no memory of this guy. Give it to Ray. Bobby, young man. He's a young
Jake.
man. Oh, Jake,
Oh my gosh! Yes, the return of Jake. That would be fantastic.
a friend of Sally's. That's perfect.
Yes, perfect.
I love
casting,
that
great
call.
choice.
Incredible. So that's what we got. So thank you, Aaron, for laying all of that out for us and giving us your details on them.
still feel
I
like I've learned nothing.
apologize. I apologize to anyone who's German who had to listen to me pronounce those names. Okay, I'm deeply American in an unfortunate way. Okay. Anything else about Cabaret before we move on to the baseball finale?
Just want to point out Bob talking about how he wanted to limber up was
Yeah.
both hilarious
The
and
knock
kind of
knock?
creepy at the same time.
I love him so much. Him just going knock, knock, like 20 times.
I have no idea how Stevie got it, to be honest.
Oh, I don't either.
Stevie's like reading between the lines. Stevie gets performance. Bob was method here because he genuinely forgot why he was up there, and
Yeah.
it's because he's the character. He lives the character. The fact
Yeah.
that he like got there early as well because he wants to limber up as well. Like Bob's dedication to this is incredible. I think Bob's going to be like one of the standouts, and I really hope that we get to see some of this musical at the very least. Like, and just even if it's just a little clip of Bob jogging onto stage, delivering some like awful German accent, and then jogging off the stage. That's all I want. That's all
With
I
a
want.
top hat and a cane.
Yes.
That steely gaze he gave. We need to see it again. Yeah, especially because he's sponsoring the other baseball team, and I don't see him anywhere at the game. He's too busy.
Yeah.
He's dedicated to his art.
It's important. This is.
Wait, which team was Gwen supposed to be on?
Oh, Gwen was supposed to be on a team?
Yeah, she was.
Must-
That was why one of them needed replacements. I thought I
Yeah.
thought Patrick said that Gwen was gone. That's why he needed a replacement. So is she playing on
Oh.
a team opposite Bob's?
That's hilarious to think about. If that's the case, that's really funny.
Oh my god, yeah, it is. Gwen is on Patrick's team. I've been like joking about this for some time. Like Gwen and Bob, something's up here, right? Like something is going on.
Open marriage. It has to be an open
I
marriage.
feel like there is some story that is like being teased as a joke. I'm thinking like if you're paying attention, you see the breadcrumbs. Maybe it's there. I don't know. Maybe I'm really too deep in the tall grass here.
Why are you so obsessed with them, Stuart?
I love it so much. The weird stories with Gwen are amazing, and Bob is just a weirdo. So, like, this together, I'm just like, this is fantastic. I want this to be a thing.
My fan fiction, for the reason that Gwen is on Patrick's team and not the team that's sponsored by Bob's Garage, is that Ronnie was like, no, Gwen is not on my team. Like, I just feel like Ronnie is the manager of that team and hates Gwen.
Mhm.
And I don't really know why, but in my head, it makes sense.
No,
I
I mean,
guess.
passes the smell test to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she would get on Ronnie's last nerve.
She
Possibly,
probably wants
yeah.
to play all the same positions as Ronnie.
Oh, okay. This is a great question. Now, Stuart, I know they don't have baseball in your country, but they have like cricket, right? Which is similar
Mhm.
enough. I don't know if the positions are the same, but I assume there's a stick and a ball. What do you want from me? You hit the ball with the stick.
I guess.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I'm
What
really.
other sport is cricket like?
Cricket.
Well,
Exactly. Nothing.
the baseball is supposedly based off of a different English sport, which is apparently rounders.
Yeah. Rounders is basically, it's like baseball light. Like the bat is smaller, you whack it, you run around the diamond, and you get points. It's basically the same game.
People have literally no idea who invented baseball. There's like
So-
6 different stories about it.
So with cricket, did you like, okay, growing up, you're in school, you're in gym class. Are you playing cricket as like part of your curriculum at some point?
Sometimes, yeah. Cricket, football or soccer, rugby. Like, yeah.
So what position did you play? Did you have like a position?
used-
Like were there
we
like
used
are
to-
there little leagues of cricket?
You can't. So the cricket is kind of it's weirdly bougie sport. Like, not the bougie.
Oh, like skiing.
But it's like, yeah, like if upper middle class, like kind of wealthy people tend to play cricket like recreationally,
Oh.
or Indian Pakistani migrants that come over, like they big on it, like very community based sports that put up like great kind of like teams together. In certain
Even
communities.
here in the United States, there was a softball field near my parents' house growing up, and there was always a large group of Southeast Asian people playing cricket there.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
They are obsessed with it. It's like it's number one sport in India.
Oh,
absolutely.
wow.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, so like, but it tends to be for like quite a bougie one. So like, we're kind of told to play it in school, like as part of like our PE lessons, physical education rather than gym, and the eye roll.
Just can't. I got chastised so much in like middle school by my gym teacher. Like, it's physical education. A gym is a location. And it's like, well, I don't care. It's gym.
We do the lesson in here. That'll do. But yeah. But yeah, we used to just mix it up. Like they'd kind of like, because it would be like a kind of almost like a taster. So like it'd be like the teachers being like, "Here's this sport. Do you like it? Do you want to play more of it?" And trying to encourage you to be healthy that way. And then they just punish you with cross country when all the other sports are done. They're just like, "Yeah, I've got nothing planned. Go run in the field."
The worst.
Yeah.
Cricket's also arguably more dangerous than baseball because of the ball. Because the ball is
super
hard. It's like
it's
solid, whereas the baseball is made out of cork and rubber.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
And then they thwack it, goes for ages, hits people, kills them.
Professional cricket players throw as hard as baseball players throw, and that hard ball hitting you can easily break a bone.
Do cricket players wear as many pads as baseball players do?
They wear on the like legs, and then they wear a helmet, but that's it. They wear these like big chunky pads, kind of like hockey goalkeepers, you know, on the legs, like those.
Wait, they wear them while they're batting and everything?
Yeah,
it's like a lot to drag around.
Yeah, they're not quite as puffy and chunky, but like they're that kind of like up to the knee
style.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then just a helmet, but everything else fair game.
That sounds horrible.
That's why you have to hit the ball.
You hit the ball out of fear.
I played a fair amount of baseball as a child, actually. I did baseball for quite a number of years. I was a catcher. I loved being a catcher because there's a lot of pressure on you to be. There is. You gotta do your job.
Well, a catcher.
And then when I switched to softball, which I hated, but I did it because all the girls were doing softball. It was very annoying. And by the time I got to softball, people had already been made this switch like years earlier. So they already had like, oh, I play this position. And I got relegated to I was always either third base, but more often I was in the outfield. I don't know the left and right and how all that works on a baseball field, Zach, but I was the one who was behind third base, whatever the outfielder is that's back there.
That's
Stage
left field.
left.
Stage left. I hated that. I hated it. I hated being in the outfield. It was the worst. It was boring. I was bored all the time. I had nothing to do. The sun is in your eyes. Like, I want action. And it was garbage. And that's how I feel about it. Zach, what position did you play? Because I know you played baseball.
I did several different things growing up. I was the second baseman for a while on some teams. I played a little first base, and sometimes I pitched a little bit at times, and
Ooh.
I also was like a right fielder when I
How
got
fast could you pitch? Did you ever use one of those
I was
things that
not
has the
very
numbers
fast
up?
at all. I only pitched until I was like 13 or 14, so I never got above like 60.
I mean, that's still very fast. That's like highway speeds. Like, that's fast.
Did you ever
Yeah.
like injure your arm and then get this superhuman ability to throw it really fast, like Rookie of the Year? That's my only context. That and the Sandlot. Like,
Yeah.
a question I've got for you though: what is the difference between baseball and softball? Like, is it just
So-
that it's a softer ball?
Different size ball,
Right.
and
okay.
and how you pitch it is very different.
It's
as well.
underhand pitching.
Oh, so are they playing softball in this one then?
You wind it up
Yeah.
and they were doing softball,
They're
I think,
technically
right?
playing softball in this. Softball gets like this sexist nature of the world gets like put down because only women play and blah blah blah. But the way those women throw are incredible. Like
It's crazy.
85 miles per hour underhand. Ball drops
Whoa.
out like curveballs, like insane. Like it's crazy stuff. And like whereas baseball, you're up on a mound that you're throwing from. The softball pitcher's mound is flat, so you're just pushing off rubber
Ah,
for that one.
I
Right.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I have so few references for like any of these sports. Like I said, like Rookie of the Year,
Mhm.
Sandlot, and the fact that the president in the West Wing had to practice throwing the pitch for like a long time because it's like
What's
it's
the-
difficult. It's like quite
as
a
the first
distance.
pitch. Yeah,
What's
Yeah.
the Tom
it's-
Hanks one? That one's baseball, isn't it? It's like women's
League
league
of Their Own.
baseball. That's okay. That's
There's a
baseball
reference
too.
to that movie in this episode.
Whoosh, straight over my head.
I've only seen it once, so I don't remember.
Roland says to Johnny, "There's no sons in baseball," and
Oh,
one of the
right. No
lines
crying
from that
in
movie is
baseball.
yeah.
Yeah, got
Amazing.
it. Yeah.
This is why we have you on, Zach. Like, totally.
Yeah.
I am more of the David. I know more about sports than David does, but I would be like David to call the like championship the finale. Like that sounds very much like something I would do. I love him coming out and being like, my glove doesn't match my shoes. Like this is a problem. Is so good. Like he doesn't want to be involved at all, and him just expecting like next time, can you put the ball in my glove? Like to throw it to my glove would be great.
It's
Yeah.
it's a fair request. What I'm curious though is what was your opinion on Patrick and what side that this like sport brought out in Patrick of just like the competitive nature. So I feel like it's going to go one of two ways. It's either
I'm gonna hide my facial expression. Okay, go.
gosh, that is just the most unflattering experience ever of you just like shouting at people, or it will be the other, which is gosh, that was really hot. I'm guessing, considering you're still hiding, Jess, I think I know the answer, right?
I liked it. I think the thing is because Patrick can be he's like a very like nice guy, right? Like he's a very like soft, gentle guy. And I think between this episode and the last episode, I think it was right with the flooring in the bathroom and Rose Apothecary and him getting on Ronnie for he's trying to like stand his ground and blah, blah. I kind of love that there is something about Patrick that is so normal, like by American standards at the very least. And I mean, honestly, every country where it's like this very typical masculine, like obsessed with sports kind of energy, that does not jive at all with the roses, right? Like there's not a single rose that you'd be like, this one cares about sports. Like, no. So I like that he is so average and normal in a way that clashes with the roses, and that David is like, who are you right now? Like, who is this? I loved it. I am also just someone who is very competitive, and so I just, it doesn't compute in my brain when someone doesn't care about winning. Like, it just doesn't make sense, because like that's the point, is to win. I mean, having fun, sure, but like I want to win. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. And Patrick is in his little outfit. I love his little outfit. I don't know what they're called. Are the uniforms? I don't care. It was cute. I loved it. He got a little donk, his little donk, and his little bike, his little, what are they called? Baseball pants. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Zach, this is not going to be a surprise to you. I've gone to baseball games because my husband is a big baseball fan. So I've been to Mets games, okay? And the most enjoyable part for me was that we were behind one of the outfielders. I don't know who he was, but his butt was nice. Like, baseball players have good butts. Very good butts in that sport.
Yeah, I haven't heard a single. I mean, I've always been told that people like, or women like baseball players' uniforms. Like something about the way that the baseball pants lay. It works. So it's like
the donks are donking.
The donks are donking in the baseball outfits, because let me just say, like, basketball, squeaky shoes, I'm out. Like, not happening, okay? I'm too distracted. It's so irritating. I don't know how anybody listens to it and doesn't want their ears to bleed. Football, you have the booty, but like there's also just so much padding happening in football because of like traumatic brain injuries and stuff, that like you can't really tell what's happening. There's so much padding that you're like, is it good donk or is it padding? And it's probably padding. And baseball is like a nice meat in the middle.
Like, football is like constantly stopping every 20 seconds for adverts. So like, no, get out. Like, no, why can you not just focus and just get something done for like 1 minute? Why do you have to stop every 3 yards? Infuriating. Yeah. Plus, everyone's cosplaying as not Pringles, as Doritos, because they're all like shoulder heavy. So they're all like,
I was like, wait, what?
Pringles?
I was confused as to
well,
where
they might
we
be
ended
after
up.
certain tackles, but yeah.
No. Now, Zach, this is important to me. It probably is not important to you. But do you ever notice the baseball outfits, like the coloring schemes of the baseball outfits?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I talk about Kelly. My wife Kelly is always like, when I'm talking about baseball uniforms, football uniforms, whatever, I like the different coloring, the different like, oh, those look good, those look terrible. Like, she's like, why do you care? Like, no, I don't know.
No, it's important because like I have very strong opinions on this, and that there are some colors, like, I'm so sorry, the Cleveland Browns, but like whoever did that to you, please, like, sue them. It's not okay that you have to wear all brown. It looks very ugly. There are certain teams that wear like Halloween colors, and I feel extra bad for them, like black and orange, like yikes. There's some teams that just have, it's ugly. It's all ugly. These uniforms were pretty good. We had like all white, which I do think is a mistake in a sport where you're going to get dirty. Like if you're sliding, you're going to get dirty real quick. So that feels like a mistake. But I like the green.
I think for baseball players, they take pride in that. They want the white to be there so that they can show that they were diving all over the place and be like, I'm the hustle magnet here. Like, I'm sliding.
Well, what is a hustle magnet? Is that a baseball thing?
It's just more of a like, when you heard someone describe it as like their dog, like they're just like in it all the time. They're running around all the time. They're like not taking a break. They're putting their effort into every play. They're the
like, Energizer Bunny. They just go.
Yeah. They may not even be the best player, but they're the one giving the most effort all the time. Like,
okay. So the MVP.
It can be, yeah.
The VIP.
The VIP. Yes.
I will say, I will give David his batting stance at the end where he gets the hit. Not bad. It's actually pretty good.
Oh.
It doesn't look like someone who hasn't played baseball before, to be honest.
Yeah, you gotta like, I don't know if he choked up on the bat, but I know that's a thing. You have to choke up on the bat. Do you know what that means, Stuart?
I'm guessing you just eat shit or something. Like I
No,
don't like.
No,
no.
you
So it's
hold
like
the bat closer to the end.
so
I'll say like
sometimes
choking it. Yeah.
depending on if you're a professional baseball player, you're gonna have a bat that's like fit to like your specifications and like how you want them. When you're playing softball leagues or like whatever, whatever bats are there. So sometimes
Yeah.
they're too long. You got to hold it higher up so you can get some more like control over where the barrel goes and like
So fancy.
The
whatever.
barrel. It's so official.
Barrel of the bat. I did love Johnny. He's so sweet with David. Like he's so concerned that David is gonna get hurt. I love him being like so proud of him. Like, David, put the glove in front of your face. Like, don't let it hit you.
And Roland being so exasperated, like he's on the other team. Like,
It's like, who cares, Roland? It's his son. And Johnny was doing him a favor. They couldn't have played without Johnny. So why don't you shove it, Roland? I was so irritated with him all episode. He's being so mean. Like, but Stuart, why are you shaking your head? You don't think that Johnny should be encouraging him?
No, I like.
Okay,
I'm
good.
shaking the head in like the Johnny admonishment. Like Johnny was being really adorable this episode, I thought, and like
Yeah.
Johnny talking about like his old Jewish team and like the rabbi calling him Popeye was just so funny because I could just imagine these like little tiny kids with like the baseball helmet on, and I don't know why I've just got this image from the side and just seeing these giant eyebrows just coming out from this helmet
and like the Coke bottle glasses underneath the helmet. Like
Yeah.
Oh, it must have been so adorable. But yeah, like Johnny having probably the most experience of all the roses kind of makes sense. But I also like the idea that he was that doting like dad. Like we've heard about him buying the basketball hoop and the courts for David's birthday. So like I imagine that he always wanted David to be like a sports kid so he could do the whole dad experience, but never got to really enjoy it. So like Johnny's in his element right now, like kind of being proud of David, but also kind of looking out for him as well. I'm not going to be down on him, even though I do kind of want to be like, Johnny, come on. He is on the other team. You should have some allegiance there. But also, Ronnie and Roland were kind of shits this whole episode. So I'm like, no, don't reward that competitive behavior. Get out. Be nice.
Yeah, two things there. One, you got to reward Johnny for being the non-toxic sports parent there.
Mhm.
Yes.
The sports parents culture can be horrible.
Yes.
And really bad. So being the supportive parent coach or like parent at the field, good on him. My favorite running bit of the entire thing was Roland and his bookie about the
Yes.
betting on the game. Just like each time, like bringing up like new bets he made. I'm like, damn.
You can't do that, by the way. Zach knows. It's illegal.
Oh, yeah.
You can't bet on a game you're playing in.
Yeah, and also the other funny part about that was him calling his bookie and like, hey, sweetie, is your dad home? Like the daughter. It's just like such a funny throwaway line that right before I cut to the end of the scene. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder to what degree this is that like those lines are actually scripted. How many are just like Chris Elliott just throwing them in because like they have such an like a thing. Like I imagine that there is probably like that line probably changed every take. I imagine was them just like different like ad libs to kind of like again trying to make each other corpse. I imagine, which is because every behind the scenes clip I've seen thus far, they're having a riot filming this, and I imagine more so like with the whole like improv crew that they used to have. Like I imagine there's always that kind of like prodding of each other and constantly doing bits.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't mind to see the other takes if there were different lines, just to see
Yeah.
which ones hit, which ones didn't.
The other thing I related to David about in this episode was that he's really only in it for the food at the baseball game. Same. If I'm gonna go to a baseball stadium, field,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I'm gonna go there. There better be good food. And I love David being like, the barbecue's not ready yet, but I did get some chips. Actually eating them. And he has his little baseball glove on already. It's so cute. And then
It's
he does.
very T-ball of him, like the kid wandering off, finding food.
Yes, that was always a thing when I was in baseball as a kid. It was like you were done, you got to go eat the French fries at like the food stand, and they were gross now that I think about it because they were like the crinkle cut garbage fries. But as a kid, you were really excited about it.
If you ever want to spend a good amount of time laughing, just look up clips of T-ball games. Kids are hilarious in those games. They don't follow any sense of rules. They run around all over the place when they hit the ball. There's just absolute chaos in every play. It's so funny.
I'm not sure if this is T-ball or not, but I have seen one of like the kid hits like a homer and then just starts doing like forward rolls to
Yes,
like
I
the
have seen.
last base.
Yeah, that was like
Funniest thing ever. They're screaming from the sidelines, being like, "Come on!" The kids are like,
Yeah.
"No, this is fun." And I think
I've seen that
made
one.
it.
It's definitely at least T-ball, if not the like level or two up from it.
Yeah. I saw one where they gave the kids walk-up music, and I was
Nice.
like, hell yeah. Like if I'm gonna be playing a sport, give me walk-up music. Yeah, let me get pumped. Like it was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, David does hit the winning home run when the bases were loaded and it was like 2 outs. So real dire situation here. And he slides into home as the baseball hits him in the back, which is awful. And he needs an ice pack from Patrick. Although I doubt the ball was going very fast, but still, you know.
So I don't get the rules. I thought when I was watching that the moment the ball hit David that he was out. And so I was like, oh no. But then when I saw them cheering, I was like, oh, okay, well, I just don't know the rules clearly.
It needs to be in the glove, I think.
A player has to, it either has to be a force out at one of the bases or a player has to have the ball on the person to make the tag. You can't, like, it's not like kickball where you can just peg someone with.
Can you imagine if you could, though? That would result in a lot of broken bones, probably.
Yeah. That probably makes more sense. But yeah, like David getting the victory, like you knew the moment David was in a uniform that it was going to happen, right? Like you can't have that set up and it not kind of like pay off. And it's I normally am on the side of the fence of saying, oh, this show like really kind of like tends not to like lean into tropes. But I think in this instance, you kind of want it to because you want that payoff. And it was so good.
Yeah. Anything else about the baseball storyline or anything like that before we get into some feedback that we got? Okay. So my husband.
I do just want to say one really quick thing. The whole baseball organs. Whoever started that, like you know the whole
organs, what
at the baseball fields,
charge, all that stuff. Whoever invented that, genius. One aspect of sport I would love to bring back over here and like
just
have
charge.
That just random organ music, top tier.
I think that comes from from baseball being like from the like 1890s when it was invented, basically, because like you get a bunch of people in the stadium, you got to keep them entertained somehow. Unless they're like pitching over, it's like
yeah, because baseball used to be even longer than it is now. Now they have a pitch clock at least, so it can't be like 7 hours. It has to be shorter because you get in trouble.
I mean, it was rarely ever 7 hours.
It felt like 7 hours, Zach. Okay.
You say that cricket takes several days to play, and we will often break for tea and like biscuits or whatever. And
so British.
Very, very. let's leave it there.
But my husband did have a question. He says if he doesn't know if the team have names, but he wants us to think about what a Schitt's Creek team should be named, and if there's a mascot, what it would be. Because we have we just have the sponsorships, right? Cafe Tropical and Bob's Garage. I feel like you could do like a thorn because of the roses, the thorny mascots should be intimidating. This is my other sports take.
Okay, I went comedy route. I was thinking like poop emoji. Like
so I was kind of going in that direction too, because Schitt's Creek feels like the place where a minor league baseball stadium would be, and those things are wild. So you could have like, I don't know, the Schitt's Creek toilets or something, and like have their mascot. Like it would be like something stupid, and it would bring in so much money because people would pay so much money
Yeah.
to have the hat with like the toilet on it for like no reason.
Oh, what
The
if we
flushers or something?
Yes, yeah.
what if you involved also the sign from like the very first episode or
Oh
first
my
couple
god.
episodes, the like, don't worry, it's his sister.
Yeah.
There's definitely something there. But yeah, probably
Yeah.
something to do with poo, probably.
Yeah,
Um
sadly.
We also got an email from CB, who says, it wasn't until my most recent rewatch of Schitt's Creek that I realized this episode is literally made for me. I'm a huge baseball fan who's very involved in theater, so the MVP basically depicts my life. With that perspective, I can say that the crazy warm-ups and games that they are doing at cabaret rehearsals are 100% accurate to every rehearsal room I've ever been
Oh
in.
no.
I've been so desensitized to the strangeness of it all that it was hilarious to view everything from Stevie's outsider perspective. I also adore everything about the baseball storyline. While I'm writing in, I thought I'd also give you some context of Cabaret in case nobody else has. It's a musical about pre-war Berlin and its fall into fascism, set at a nightclub, which is the Kit Kat Club. No relation to the candy. Yes, I've since learned that. It's incredibly political, making the joke a few episodes ago where Jocelyn says that she wasn't allowed to put on cats because it was too political. Absolutely hilarious.
Mhm.
Best wishes, CB. So
Thank you.
incredible. I can't believe that people actually do those rehearsal things. Like,
I mean,
what?
I kind of can. Like
Man.
anything from distracting yourself of not remembering your lines. Like let's just do silly parlor games.
We also got an email from Libby. Hi, Jess and Stuart. I just wanted to jump in with some cabaret thoughts. I think you guys should look it up. I've never seen it, but doing a bit of research added to the storyline. I think Patrick playing the MC is especially poignant. He originally tries out for Cliff, who's a closeted gay man, but is cast as the MC, who's openly queer. Moira sees right away that it is a better role for him, and it makes me love Moira all the more. Also, I also think Stevie playing Sally, well, we'll get there. Winky face emoji. I'm so excited to revisit the back end of season 5 with you guys. What does that mean? Winky face emoji.
Gotta
Yeah.
love tease in a feedback.
Yeah.
I know.
When
gets
the
mad at
hell
me,
did the
but
audience
be
get in
mad at
on this
Libby.
game? Like, it
Yeah.
is not all
Haha.
of you against me with this. No, please don't. I feel like we need to do like a cabaret watch or something like organized at some point, or at least like
Yeah.
get to a point where we've watched it. And I think that needs to be certainly before they perform it. Maybe.
I think maybe we should do it in tandem with the finale. I feel like that would
Yes.
make sense. Or at least or either that or before the season 5 wrap up. So we have the context of
Yeah,
cabaret.
for sure. Cabaret.
Is it over
That,
2 hours? It's going to be over 2 hours, isn't it? Is it easily accessible? That's my other question.
It
If
must
people
be. It's like
know,
it's a classic film. It's Liza Minnelli.
19
Silence.
oh, it's over 2 hours. Listen. Let me know, people who are fans of Cabaret, let us know like if there's a specific version we should be watching, because I don't want to piss people off and watch the wrong one and then have takes that people hate. So theater people scare me sometimes because they feel very passionately about things. And I don't want to get on their bad side. So,
That
you know.
feedback just reminded me of a thought I had about Patrick
Oh,
with
yes.
the whole baseball storyline. I do love that it's a different take on a gay man in any of these kinds of storylines. He's into sports, he's good at them, he's like really competitive, which is not like a type of gay man you usually see in television, at least at that time when the show was coming out. So like it definitely broke stereotypes in a way that I thought was very good for.
Yeah. I would say David is the type that you would expect
and
to
it's
see.
nice to have
David's
the
reaction
contrast of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like certainly like consistent with character types rather than sexualities. Like it's not anything down to that. It's down to the fact that David is just not a sporty person at all. Yeah, and it's just refreshing. Like I say, it's nice to have like the tropes when it comes to like something as silly as just like the underdog winning the baseball game. That's the nature of sports in media. Is like you always want to root for the underdog and you always want them to win. But like for this, yeah, totally. It's so much better that they don't lean into those outdated stereotypical tropes. We don't need that, and this isn't the show for it. It's so yeah, definitely great.
Okay, let's get into our ratings because we have some points to give out and some points to take away. So we have our Simply the Best, which is the MVP, which is pretty funny considering the episode is titled MVP. I'll go first because it's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. I'm going to do it. It's the MVP. There was an MVP. He won the winning run.
Finale.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I was like, goal? That's not right. He won the winning run. Touchdown for David. He won the game for them. He's the best. I love him. And it took a lot. Like, he's very supportive of Patrick to don the outfit and go stand in the field with a glove where he's at risk of getting hit in the face with a baseball. Like, come on now. David gets my point. He's simply the best this episode. Zach, let's go to you next. Who are you giving your simply the best point to?
Yeah, I thought about throwing a curveball and saying,
Haha.
saying someone like Alexis, who I think did a lot of really good stuff in this episode, but it's really hard not to go with David. Like, it's the whole thing here as you laid out. Like,
yeah. What about you, Stuart? Where are you going with your simply the best point?
I am going to throw a curveball. I'm not going to give it to David because David was hilarious and I feel like it is deserved. But like, I'm going to go for more of like what I think is the more emotional route. But this makes it tough for me because I am really conflicted between Alexis and Moira. I'm going to give it to Moira because I feel like I'm not sure. I can't remember if I gave it to Moira before for even casting Stevie. I probably did, but I'm still riding high on that vibe, and I'm riding high on the like just the way in which she found the connection with Stevie and really kind of like helped Stevie out a little bit. But like, honorable mention for Alexis for like firstly having the insight to talk to Moira like for Stevie, but then also just for the little like shoulder rub as she walks away as well. It was just really like a touching moment. So yeah, but Moira's gonna get the point this week.
Honorable mention to Johnny too, because there's a lot of good people this episode. He's very, very sweet with David. I love that he doesn't care about winning. Yeah. Zach, to your point, he's not the like terrible sports parent. He's super supportive and very, very sweet, and he's just very funny about Popeye. Ridiculous. Okay, disgruntled Pelican point, our LVP. Stuart, let's go to you first. Who are you giving your disgruntled Pelican point to? Yeah, you can't game the system, Stuart.
Okay, like obvious contenders, Ronnie and Roland, for like the smack talk and everything. I don't think anyone, maybe Jocelyn, I don't know, like for being loud in the rehearsals. And
I was gonna say she's stretching her limits as assistant director to their
exactly. Yeah,
you're stretching your role to its limit.
But then there's also like I guess like if I'm gonna go down the silly routes of that, then there's a case for like Stevie for like kind of being really crap at improv games that are actually quite simple. But I think, oh gosh, I think there's also an argument for Patrick for like the competitiveness. Like, it's one thing to
dare
like,
you?
I don't know.
Did you
like,
see his donk in those pants? Like, what's wrong with you?
I know. I'm clutching at straws because I don't want to do this, but I'm going to give it to Ronnie.
Ooh!
I never thought I'd ever say that because Ronnie's one of my favorites.
Wow.
Give it to Ronnie. And if I'm missing someone really obvious here, then please feel free to like write in and tell me off because I'm struggling. I'm struggling.
Okay, Zach, what do you have to say to that? Who's your disgruntled Pelican?
Stuart, you should have let me go first, or Jess should have had me go first because I was going to say Ronnie as well because she was talking a lot of crap this episode.
But yeah, understandable.
I feel like almost Roland was also feeding off her energy, and if she wasn't like being so like
interesting
into it, then he probably would have been like kind of laissez-faire about it all. But for Ronnie to be all in like that, he was gonna be like, yes, I'm ganging up on him.
Yeah, he was definitely like, not that Ronnie was being a bully, but it's like definitely giving that kind of vibe of like the bully's like right hand kid that like, you know, stands behind him and goes, yeah, like that kind of like, vibe,
like a hype man.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
You could also give it to the barbecue guy for not having the food ready on time.
Yeah.
No, I am going to give it to Roland, and here is why. Because, in my opinion, Ronnie is much more being like smack talky than anything else, and I can jive with some smack talk. And on top of that, I feel like it's fueled by the existing rivalry between Ronnie and Patrick. He did her dirty, and she is now getting retribution and payback. Roland has no skin in this game. He's just being a douchebag. He's like making illegal bets that you're not supposed to do. And on top of that, there's no sons in baseball. Johnny, stop giving the competition umpiring advice or whatever the hell he says. Like, screw off, Roland. That is his son, and he is proud of his son. Like, Roland just sucks. At least Ronnie, I feel like there's a reason for her being antagonistic. And it was funny. When Roland does it, it's not funny. So
you make a really compelling case, but I'm gonna say that's a compelling case for me not to give my point to Ronnie and to give it to Patrick.
No, what did Patrick do?
He antagonized Ronnie.
That was last episode. You can't penalize him now.
I'm giving Moira points for last episode's like
you also shouldn't be doing that.
Energy. I'll do it how I want. No, I'll keep it, Ronnie.
Okay, well that's our ratings for the episode. We were so graced and blessed this episode to get a Moira wig, and it is one of the more unhinged ones. It's like a half a wig. I don't really quite know what's happening. It kind of looked like that lady from Seinfeld like ripped off half her hair and shoved it on Moira's head.
Are you talking about Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
She is.
As that lady.
That lady. Oh, that's outrageous, Jess.
I mean, it's not wrong, but
it's also like it's very Ilana from Broad City. Like it's like what's happening on your head, Moira?
I'm gonna make a really kind of like specific reference. So there's a drag queen on the latest season of Drag Race called Corey King who wears their wigs really kind of low on their forehead, and everyone was like, no, you need to like lift the wig up and like wear it back. And when they did, it just looked way too far back on their head. This is what this is giving. Like the wig is starting at the top of their head. Like what the hell is Moira thinking? And the contrasting colors, it's a choice. Is what I'm gonna say.
I love how ridiculous it is. Like it's intentionally ridiculous. It's halfway back on her head. Like it looks like it's maybe supposed to be like a beret, but she's like, I don't have a beret. Let me just use this wig.
The whole ensemble here is giving like going to an 1800 lord's funeral. Like
it absolutely is.
Yeah, it is.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like the garb, like the heavy necklaces, like almost like robe-like in appearance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just Moira's not letting us down. Like Moira's serving at these later seasons.
Yeah, it's incredible. And now we're down to our final task. We must tier rank the episode. As always, don't you forget it. Hot shit, oh bouquet. Love that journey for me. You, David, and shit out of luck. Stuart, do you have any inclinations as to where this belongs?
I thought this was a strong episode. Really good for like we talk about like whole like the emotional, the plot progression, the feels, and the comedy. And I feel like this had a lot of everything. I want to say like top of full bouquet, lower end of hot shit. If you're in agreement.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking, Zach? Where would you place this episode?
I think I like that placement. I like the episode, but like I said, it's mostly because it's a lot of topics that appeal to me. But I don't know if it's like one of the best, like top.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea that it's very strong, like full bouquet area.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I like it more than I like the dress. I do love the dress, but I think it's funnier. Both because of like just the natural funniness of having Johnny and Patrick in baseball outfits. But I also think that like it has the heart too. Like it has those like nice, sweet moments with Cabaret and Johnny being very sweet in the baseball
Mm-hmm.
game. So I think top of Faux Bouquet makes sense to me. I think it's like just out of hot shit, but like it's teetering right there.
I think that's fair because like the Croning is iconic. Like I think you say this episode title, everyone knows. Well, MVP does evoke like kind of sports and like baseball, and maybe it'll have that image of the baseball. I don't necessarily think you're going to go away with any like actual jokes or scenes. It's just that one where they played
Yeah.
baseball, which is like not
Yeah.
to do it a disservice, but I don't think that it's quite as iconic as any of the others that we've had.
Yeah, I agree. I think the MVP you are like, this is the one where they play baseball. I don't think you think of the Cabaret aspect of it. At least I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, well, it's fallen into Faux Bouquet. This season is looking real strong,
Yeah.
as expected. But we are going to cover another episode next week, season 5, episode 10, Roadkill.
Why do I think that this is going to lean into like Roland doing another barbecue or something? I don't know. Like that seems like Roland's vibe.
What?
Roland seems like the kind that would go for roadkill. I don't know.
He kind of does though.
Yeah.
He's gross.
Yeah, he does seem like the kind of guy who would find like a deer hit on the side of the road and be like,
Yeah.
I can clean this up.
This is one of the ones that I would say, like, because we're getting so close to the end of the season. We have 4 episodes left. Of the 4, I think this is definitely the weakest. The one coming up. I don't think it's bad because there is, I think one of the 2 storylines is really funny, and the other of the 2 storylines I'm not a huge fan of. But it could just be me. It could be like a personal thing. Like it's just not for me. I mean, by the name Roadkill, you probably know why. But that'll be next week. So very excited to get into that and all the remaining episodes because, oh my God, so many good things, so many good episodes. In the meantime, of course, don't forget to subscribe. Talking Shit everywhere. We are only 11 people away on YouTube from having to do something that is not waterboarding, but will be something. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following us everywhere. Zach, thank you so much for teaching us everything about baseball and cricket and softball and just being very knowledgeable. Is there anything you want to plug? Anywhere you want anyone to find you? You didn't even tell people. Do people want to know what team you're a fan of? Is that a thing that would be relevant?
I mean,
probably.
It would be, but people hate all my teams, so that's fine.
Heck, you just picked a bad spot to live, I think, because no one likes any of those teams where you live. And if you don't already know it's Boston, then
bad spot to live and to be born at the wrong time in which I got like every championship I could ever want in like a 20-year span. So it's like
that it's just bad all around.
I don't blame people.
Yeah.
But my team's the Red Sox. They're not doing well right now.
Yeah, whatever. That's what my husband said. He said he's probably not going to want to talk about it because they're not doing very well because they keep getting injured. So balls to the butt, I guess.
Everything.
Balls to the butt. Balls to the
but yeah, otherwise I don't really have any plugs. I'm around on the old PSR Discord and
incredible
talking about whatever. So
yeah, exciting stuff. Stuart, we finished up our Last of Us coverage. It's done.
It's
for
over.
Season 2 at least.
Season 2 is finished. We're going dark really on the Last of Us. But if you are, I don't know, watching it late or maybe have only just watched the last episode and you want to, like people to go through it in like a deep dive and talk about it like probably more in depth than you need, look for Light Pod. It's where you can find that. And of course, like subscribe to it so that you know when we reappear when season 3 pops back up in probably like 11 billion years. But yeah, we'll be waiting for that.
Yeah, we might come back with some like casting news or something. You never know. I could see us doing
trailers,
a random
speculations, news, gossip. Yeah, certainly. I'm gonna be all over any leaks.
Stuart is the first one. Anytime there's a trailer, he goes frame by frame like a psychopath. So definitely we will be doing some sort of off-season coverage at some point. So always subscribe so you got your eyes on that feed. And yeah, next week we'll be back with season 5, episode 10 of Schitt's Creek. And until then, warmest regards
and best wishes.